Forget the gods, the darks from my generation. I'll take the
Come on, let's get it on. Forget the loss, the money. We're in this together and through it all. They said that nothing's forever, and they refuse to see the change in me. Why won't they wake up?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to SlamCast, the premiere stream. Yay. So today we are going to discuss the Royal Rumble 2019, men's and women's, and all the matches in between. Give some predictions, talk a bit and such. So welcome. Don't mind me getting my stuff here situated, which I probably should have done prior to the stream, but you know, it happens. Work in progress here. All right. So if you were in the stream, welcome, and appreciate you popping in. Again, we are going to give predictions, talk a little bit about opinions, what's been going on, and if you were live and you are in the chat, you are more than welcome to voice your opinion and talk about the topic at hand that we are discussing. As we get a little further into the stream, I will discuss the giveaway that was mentioned on social media, if you were following and paying attention to that. If you weren't on social media and you're just here popping in and this is all brand new to you, well, welcome again. And again, there will be an announcement of a giveaway. Yay. All right. Real quick, we're just doing some social medias and such. All right. And as we pop in, as people pop in, if you are wanting to join the chat, again, feel free to type in, say hello, and we will be answering any questions, talking about your opinions along the way. We do have a way to view the chat online here, so again, feel free to pop in. But for now, why don't we go ahead and get started, and let's talk a little bit before we get into the Royal Rumble and talking about what predictions are. I want to talk about NXT TakeOver because it was fucking amazing. Huge fan of NXT and what they do over there. A lot of the times, usually I prefer to watch the NXT takeovers over some of the main roster pay-per-views just because they're insane what they're doing over there. Yeah. I want to discuss, we'll talk about the first match. So we'll start with that. First match was the NXT tag team match, championship match with Undisputed Era versus War Raiders. And they've been going back and forth at it for a while. And Undisputed Era being Undisputed Era has, came out on top over and over again. Numbers game always gets them the win. War Machine, or War Raiders rather, coming out with a win, which is awesome. First of all, they come out to an amazing entrance, which is badass. The kind of overhyped music and more dramatic music, it was awesome. In addition, they kind of add to their getup. Usually they just do the face paint, but they add like the Viking helmets and you got the other, Viking warriors there with them. It was pretty awesome. After that, we had, you know, well, let's talk a little bit about the match. The match was a relatively lengthy match. I should have taken notes because I'm trying to remember at the top of my head here. It was pretty awesome, and right off the bat, like, the crowd was into it. The crowd was doing their chants, saying "This is awesome" and "Fight forever." And that always, when you start have your first match for a pay-per-view and it ends up being like that, and the crowd's already that into it, you're gonna have a good, it's gonna be a good night. So they're going crazy. All members are kind of like hitting moves right and left that are just insane. I gotta say my MVP for that specific match was Hanson. That big guy can fucking move. He's doing fucking cartwheels and handsprings out of nowhere and just going crazy. And there was a good portion of the match towards the end of the match where he's getting worked and worked and worked and worked, and Rowe is down for the count outside the ring, and O'Reilly and Roderick Strong were just doing work on him, and he just kept on kicking out and kept on taking it, and next thing you know, man, like I said, doing handsprings out of nowhere and just blasted him. It was awesome. It was great. I loved the match. And they come out on top. Now they're the new tag team champions, which is awesome. After that, what did we have? I don't even remember the last match. The next match was the women's championship match, I believe. So it was Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair. So here's my biggest thing is I love women's wrestling. I don't like if a women's match comes on, I'm not going to be like, oh, this again. But I can tell you what, when Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair on, I wasn't really interested. It was a good match, and both participants did well, but it was just a match I had no interest in. And it's, again, not that I don't like women's wrestling or the NXT women. NXT usually has some really good women competitors. As of late, pretty much once Nikki Cross left, once Nikki Cross left, and like Ruby Riott, you got Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. I'll even say Lacey Evans and Ember Moon and Asuka. Like, once all those guys move to the main roster, the talent for the women, I mean, in my opinion, kind of is lacking. Like, you got Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and Mia Yim, and people like them, but I don't know. To me, they still need some more work. They don't have the star quality from the ladies they had in the previous run. But that's just my opinion. I really don't like Shayna Baszler. I think she's dry and needs a lot of work. But I'm also not a fan of Ronda Rousey, so maybe there's a connection there. I don't know. But regardless, the match wasn't horrible. They both did all right. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say on that match in particular. I'm trying to think. Shayna won. She made Bianca Belair pass out for her little choke out thing. I forget what her finisher is actually called. But she ended up retaining her championship, which is fine. To be honest, if Bianca Belair won the championship, I wouldn't have been like, woo. If Shayna has the championship, I'm not like, woo, insert Ric Flair noise here. But yeah, it was kind of a whatever thing, for me at least, and that's just my opinion. Agree or disagree, as you like. All right. After this, we have the Just trying to remember, was it just 4 matches? I think it was just the 4 matches. Or no, we had Cassius Ono versus Matt Riddle. It was okay. Kind of the same thing that's going on with Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler. I used to really like Cassius Ono, and unfortunately for that man, he's just kind of stuck in this weird, like, I don't know. I don't feel like developmental has anything to really do for him. I think he's just there to kind of, because he's the seasoned veteran of the Florida area and around the developmental brand, where he's the seasoned guy. I think he's used to put over the new guys, and where Matt Riddle is the new guy, and granted he's got his UFC career or history behind him. I think they're just using Cassius Ono to kind of put him over. And, you know, it is what it is. You usually always going to have that guy, but the feud isn't something that speaks to me. It's kind of a boring. Matt Riddle's character, I think, is stupid. The bro, I think it's completely idiotic. But again, my opinion. But the match was okay. They both did all right. Some pretty hard-hitting points. I do remember one point. I think it was like I want to say Matt Riddle was knocked against the ropes. So he was seated on the canvas and was leaning against the ropes. And I think Cassius Ono went to go do like a kick or a stomp to his face, and it was brutal. They did a slow-mo. It just smushed his face, and I'm like, that's awesome. So that was funny. That was cool. Like I said, there were some good spots there, but the overall match wasn't something I was excited to see. But yeah, Matt Riddle comes out on top again. Nothing fancy for me, nothing too crazy. After that was the Ricochet Johnny Gargano match for the North American Championship. If you pay attention to NXT, you knew this match was going to be good. Johnny Gargano, granted, he's never held the championship prior to last night. He's had his run in NXT for a while, but anytime he's gonna have a takeover match, you know it's gonna be crazy. I mean, from his matches with Tommaso Ciampa to the Andrade Cien Almas, Gargano match, which was probably one of the best matches that takeover has seen. It was just insane. Gargano's always going to put out a good match and a good product, so props to him. And then Ricochet. Ricochet is a walking highlight reel. I mean, that guy has springs in his feet. The guy's insane. It was a pretty intense match. The cool thing is the back and forth and the counters that they did. I don't remember what the move was. I think there was like some move off the top rope, and then Ricochet just flips and like lands on his feet and walks away. And Gargano's just in the corner, dumbfounded, and it was a really cool back and forth and a really cool build to the match. And again, people were just fully into the match and going crazy. And again, it was just one of those matches you knew was going to be crazy and good. Excuse me, I got a weird tickle in my throat. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was thoroughly impressed. The back and forth, and finally, to tell the story and the character for Gargano. Gargano's been, as of late, been this weird kind of like good guy, bad guy, like we're not sure where he's going to go type of thing. And we had, the feud with Tommaso Ciampa. Basically, several months ago, when Tommaso took the title from Alistair due to Gargano's interference because of the back and forth feud that Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano were having. Again, that cost Alistair Black the championship. And then Alistair ended up suffering an injury and needed I want to say he needed a groin surgery repair, something of that nature. But he was on the shelf for a little bit. And what they did is they ran an angle of he was attacked. And during that few months, they were like, oh, we don't know who it is until he was ready to come back. And they did the whole angle of Nikki Cross knew who did it. And then when Alistair actually made his return, that's when Gargano came out and said, it was me. And that was that turning point of like, okay, we now have like this kind of more badass Johnny Gargano. As Tommaso Ciampa calls him, Johnny Badass or whatever. But that was that weird turning point, and ever since then, we had the takeover revenge match for Aleister Black for his return, and Aleister won that, but it was still that weird, moment of like what's going on with Gargano. And then fast forward later where Aleister, after that match, Aleister and Johnny Gargano, like Gargano wasn't finished with Aleister Black, and then that's when Tommaso Ciampa was out there, and Aleister was done with Gargano but wanting his title rematch. So they had the cage match, and that's where Tommaso Ciampa ends up getting involved in the match, and they both, Gargano and Ciampa, go after Black, which was kind of like, okay, are we going to see the reformation of DIY, the tag team that consisted of Ciampa and Gargano, former tag team champions? So people were like, are we going to see a reform where they're no longer the face tag team, or are we going to see that reformation but as a heel team? Which I think a lot of people were assuming was going to happen. And going into this takeover last night, that's kind of what I assumed was going to happen too. I was thinking, I'm like, what's going to happen is Gargano's going to come out on top. He's going to win the North American Championship, which he ended up doing. He had this weird point in the match. And like I said, they did a really good job about kind of telling its story and going with it. They ended up having a point in the match where Gargano lifts up the padding on the ringside floor, as we've seen him do many of times in the matches with with Ciampa. And there's this point where, he's like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm better than this, and gets back in the ring, and him and Ricochet have a shuffle again. And then he's back and forth, and they're so close. Finally he just gives in, and he ends up hitting a move on Ricochet onto the concrete, getting the win, and that move inevitably causes him to take the win. So when that happens, that's that point of like, Johnny has made that turn. That was the point of, we were back and forth, and we weren't sure what we were going to see out of him, and then finally he does that, and it's like, okay, we know the Johnny that we have now. Fast forward after that match, we have the rematch for the NXT Heavyweight Championship between Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa. So, as people will learn to know through future videos and streams of this, I'm a huge Aleister Black fan. So I was very excited to see this match. And I like Tommaso Ciampa as well. But my prediction into the match was this. My prediction was, all right, we're coming up on the Royal Rumble today. And Tommaso has been champion. Granted, it'd be cool to add Aleister Black to the short list of two-time NXT champions. It's only been Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. It'd be cool to see Aleister Black added to that list. However, I don't see them giving him the championship. So I kind of had like this pre-thing of like, all right, this is probably going to be me seeing Aleister Black lose for the first time at TakeOver. Reason being is, again, Royal Rumble coming up. It would be a great time to call him up. Because the way I look at it, and this is part of my prediction, some of it's come true so far, we'll see tonight, is where we've had this weird story been playing out with Ciampa and Gargano. Are we going to see this kind of reformation of DIY as a heel team? And just that, like, Aleister Black doesn't really have too much that he can do on NXT anymore. He's kind of done his run. Like, he's top dog for sure. He's one of the, like, even Tommaso Ciampa said, like, obviously he's going to be like, I'm the best one here and I'm the champion, but even then he admitted it's like you're probably the second guy in his opinion. In my opinion, he's the top dog, or at least one of them. And so he's kind of run his course in NXT, and if they have him lose the title and then go back to NXT, he's gonna lose momentum and lose that steam. And I think WWE, as much as at times they don't really have there are times where they have certain superstars who get lost in the fold, and the superstars that have that star quality. I mean, look at people like The Revival and I'm trying to think of who. Ty Dillinger. There's many others that I can name. No Way Jose. Like, there are talented people that kind of get lost in the fold, and I think WWE understands if they do that with, if that happens with Aleister Black, that they're going to have an issue there. So again, going into this, I don't think he's going to go back to NXT. I think he would be kind of losing momentum and steam if he goes back. Where if they took him, have him lose the title, then you have Ciampa and Gargano both as champions in this kind of heel DIY team, and then Aleister shows up at the Royal Rumble. That's my opinion. I think that would be awesome. So the match, it is an amazing match. There's some great spots. The work that Ciampa put into Aleister Black's leg, some of the moves and some of the hits and spots that they did with that was insane. Props to Aleister for his selling and just intensity on both parties' parts. It was a great match, and it took I think the number was 3. I forget the name of Ciampa's finisher. Fairy Tale Ending. And it took 3 of those to put away Aleister, and he barely got Aleister. He barely took the win. But again, he got the win. He retains the championship, and as he goes to celebrate at the top of the ramp, right outside the entrance, Johnny Gargano comes out. Johnny Gargano holds up his championship, and then Tommaso Ciampa holds up his championship. So the end of NXT TakeOver Phoenix was former DIY holding up their championship standing tall at the top of the ring, or at the top of the ramp. So that was a huge moment that kind of gave a little insight of what my predictions were. I think is kind of where they're going. The weird thing is, which I saw later today, is WWE.com released an exclusive video on YouTube that showed it was Gargano and Ciampa at the top of the ramp holding their championships high. Then Velveteen Dream's music kicked, and Velveteen Dream comes out and gets in their faces, and there's no one had a mic, that he just gets in their faces, a little push and shove here and there. Then after that came out Ricochet. And then after that, Aleister Black had at that point made it up to his feet and got to the top of the ramp, and it was a 6-way man brawl between, oh no, and Adam Cole came out. That was the person I forgot. Adam Cole came out. So we have this 6-person brawl. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was cool to see. It was all of NXT's top dogs brawling it out, and just, you kind of don't really know what's going on. It's just this intensity and this build and this brawl and this everything going on, and the refs are trying to break them up, and at the end of it, it's back. The brawl makes it to the backstage area, and Triple H ends up breaking it up, and people go crazy because Triple H is there. But it's like, okay, what's going on with this? So there's this weird 6-man angle thing going on where you have kind of, it was kind of split. Like Adam Cole and then Gargano and Ciampa kind of walked off, not necessarily together, but in the same direction. And then Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black, and Ricochet were kind of in the same area. So this is weird split. And I don't know. I'm not sure what they're looking to do with that. So it could be a thing of, in the NXT to follow, that there could be this like huge 6-man tag match that is, going to build some feuds or some rivalries to go into the future. I'm not sure. But again, like, I'm still feeling that a good choice for NXT would to have the call up for Aleister Black and kind of Velveteen Dream too, because he's granted he had his title match with Ciampa last TakeOver and he lost. He's still, since he's made his debut, has put on some of the most amazing matches at TakeOvers, and definitely has that star quality and is easily ready to join the main roster. And again, it's been rumored that he's going to be doing something with John Cena at WrestleMania. That keeps on getting rumored, so we don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see with that. So that was TakeOver. So real quick, before we get into my predictions for the actual Royal Rumble tonight, again, this video is going to only be an hour long, or the stream rather. I don't have any live viewers right now, which is fine. People are probably getting ready for the Royal Rumble. And again, this is a new channel. I'm not expecting to have a huge audience at the current moment. However, when you come across this video later on YouTube, because this will stay on YouTube as an uploaded video, the giveaway that I'm going to be doing is the first 15 subscribers to the channel. You are going to be entered into the chance of winning the giveaway. So the rules are, you have to be one of the 15 subscribers, and you have to have liked this video, and you need to make sure that your bell icon is clicked so that you know when we post videos and go live. Once you meet all those requirements, again, you are qualified to win the giveaway, and the giveaway is going to be essentially, I'm trying to work with WrestleCrate, and the person who will be picked will win a gift from WrestleCrate, whether it's one of their t-shirt boxes or something of that nature. The winner will be receiving something of that nature. We'll have more details. I'm still working it out, but once we meet those first 15 subscribers, that's when we choose the winner. So you can pay attention to the video, pay attention to the channel that way, and you'll know if you are part of that group. So go ahead, click the subscribe button. Go ahead and click the little bell notification so that you know when these videos pop up. So that we can start building a community quick and get those people to pop in the chat. And when we do live videos, get people voicing their opinions, leaving comments and such. Building community is what's going to make this a lot more fun. So, again, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification, leave a comment, say hi, voice your opinions on some of my predictions for tonight, and let's get right into it. So, let me pull up my little list right here. So, let's start here. So it says we got a kickoff show, which is going to start in about a half an hour, which as soon as we're done with the stream, I'm going to be watching. We got the Fatal 4-Way match between Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, Kalisto, and Hideo Itami for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I unfortunately have been missing a lot of 205 Live. I haven't seen much as of late. However, Akira Tozawa, I've seen him. We've seen him with the championship before, as well as Kalisto. Buddy Murphy's been killing it. He's been doing a great job. He's a great champion. And Hideo Itami. So Hideo Itami, a former NXT star again, is a very intense competitor. I'm excited to see that match. I think it will be a good mix-up. And prediction, again, it's hard to say when I haven't seen much of 205 Live as of late. I think it'd be cool to see Buddy Murphy retain. That, or I'd like to see Hideo win it, which would be cool because, again, he's one of my NXT guys that I worked with and saw, and I think it'd be cool to see him with the championship. We had another kickoff match here, I believe. There was another one. Looks like they're going to be doing the United States Championship match in the kickoff show. So we got Rusev and Shinsuke. They're probably going to have Rusev retain, in my opinion, just because Rusev has kind of been getting bested by Shinsuke a lot lately, getting attacked and blindsided by Shinsuke. And Shinsuke had a really good run with the United States Championship. To be honest, I'm a little bummed out that they're doing a U.S. Championship match in the kickoff show. That's kind of crappy, man. I think one of my biggest complaints with WWE and some of the things that they've been doing, over the past few years is your kind of like mid-card championships. Those are important championships. They have a lot of history to them. Miz went crazy about this when it came to the Intercontinental Championship and how the vast history that these championships have, and no one really, it should be put on the forefront and should be important and have champions who are gonna, fight to retain those championships and legitimize them and make them important. And Miz was one of those champions, and not saying Shinsuke wasn't. I just think it was the booking and everything that they were doing with it. It didn't really have that, I think maybe the U.S. Championship, because they actually have the WWE Championship on TV, that they are like, oh, we actually have our championship on TV, not like Raw, where the Intercontinental Championship's kind of like their main championship because we never see our champion. So I don't know, but I feel that Rusev will probably retain because I think he's going to overcome Shinsuke. He's probably going to fuck him up. So that's all I see for listed kickoff matches. Going into the Royal Rumble, we got both tag team matches, tag team championships on the line. So the first one for Raw, we got Bobby Roode versus the... where was it? I just saw it. Or is it not? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. So the SmackDown Championship, we got the Bar versus the Miz and Shane McMahon, which should be interesting. They'll probably give it to Shane and the Miz because they've been doing a lot about building this relationship between Miz and Shane McMahon. I think that the little comedy thing they did was celebrating Shane's birthday and him doing the coast to coast with a cake to I think it was Cesaro. Like, it was pretty funny. And then Bar has been kind of besting them here and there in their matches. I think there's probably going to be like your typical high points. Like, Shane will probably do something crazy, and it's going to be your typical match. I don't know. Like, kind of excited for it, but they're probably just going to give it to Miz and Shane McMahon. After that, we'll talk about you got SmackDown Women's Championship, Asuka versus Becky Lynch. To be honest, I could probably see Becky Lynch losing. I think there's going to be a point where Becky's going to make a trip to Raw sometime here soon. I don't think they're going to have Becky take it yet. I think they're going to try to get her at Raw at some point and potentially have her hold the Raw Championship, Women's Championship. That's just my opinion. Kind of out there one, but I think Becky Lynch at some point is going to get kicked over to Raw for some reason. I think with Ronda Rousey on her way out after WrestleMania, I think they're going to build something with maybe her and Ronda for WrestleMania, and then Becky will be the man over on Raw. And you got your Raw Women's Championship match with Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks. Ronda's going to retain. Unfortunately, I am not a Ronda Rousey fan at all. But as much as, to be honest, Sasha Banks, like, I don't mind her. She hasn't really had too much of a run lately. She's been doing the whole thing with Bayley and hanging out with her, and Bayley annoys the fuck out of me. But Sasha Banks in this, I think this is all part of the McMahon posse coming out and saying that they want to change how things are going, and no, like, you're not just guaranteed a rematch for the championship. We want to get new people in there, and I think this is just to appease that. But I think Ronda's just going to retain. I think they're going to build something with her at WrestleMania, and then I think she'll drop the belt at WrestleMania. We'll see, yeah. But Ronda's going to retain tonight, unfortunately. We got the Universal Championship match, Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor. I see Finn Balor probably taking it. I think WWE, as aggravating as they could be at times in their creative and their decisions on who's doing what and when and where and whatever, man, if they have Brock Lesnar keep that title any longer, people are going to get really late. They're having a hard time with their ratings, as is Raw and SmackDown. Like, NXT is outperforming main roster Raw and SmackDown in ratings. And one thing that's going to help you is, getting your championship on TV and not having Brock Lesnar be the guy. I think Brock Lesnar, I'm not really sure what's going on with him. I'm not really sure what's going on with his contracts and what he's doing with UFC and what he's doing with WWE, like where he's wanting to lay his hat. But at the time, I think they really need to get the title off him. If Brock wants to be the beast and, bring people to Suplex City here and there and fuck people up, cool. It's not that I don't like Brock Lesnar. I just don't want him as a champion. I think that's a stupid choice, and I think Finn Balor is a great choice. I mean, he was the first Universal Championship. He had to relinquish it due to an injury. And I think it'd be cool to see that put back on him. I think he would do a really good job at building hype around that championship again. And there could be some really cool feuds that, based on whoever wins the Royal Rumble. And another thing, too, is they're really building Seth Rollins up again. And to be honest, seeing that Seth Rollins-Finn Balor match for the Universal Championship, that rematch will be huge, and I think that could potentially be a huge seller, and I think that would be the good choice for them to go. So we'll see. That's my opinion. My opinion is I think Finn Balor is going to take it because I'm hoping that WWE isn't stupid and have Brock hold on to it any longer. With that being said, the next one is WWE Championship match with the new Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. As much as they're doing the whole thing with, Shane McMahon saying, "Are you sure you want the real AJ Styles to come out?" And AJ kind of going to that intense kind of, AJ and really going crazy and all out, and then all this crap. I think Daniel Bryan's going to retain because he's such an easy to hate. Like, he's playing a good heel. The character can be a little annoying depending on where they go with it. But he's playing the annoying vegan, which, all vegans are annoying in my opinion, but I digress. So I think the new Daniel Bryan's going to retain it because I think he's a good heel. And they could probably do some more build of this feud. And again, depending on who wins the Royal Rumble, they could really build something differently. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but in my opinion, I feel like Daniel Bryan's probably going to retain. Let's see. Let's talk. So I think I covered all of them other than the obvious Royal Rumble matches. For the men's 30-man Royal Rumble, it could either be... I'm feeling like it's either going to be one or two people. I think it's either going to be Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre. Again, they've been doing a lot with those two guys over on Raw and building them. It seems like every time I tune into Raw, one of those two guys are doing something, like or they're together, or they're fighting, or whatever. I feel like these two guys, Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins, I feel like they're going to be the ones that are going to kind of get the push, and they're probably going to be they're probably going to be the final two, or they'll have a spot inside the Rumble. As for people we'll see that maybe we're not expecting, there's a lot of rumors that Kenny Omega will make an appearance. I don't think he's going to make an appearance. As far as his New Japan Wrestling contract is concerned, it is expired or is expiring at the end of this month, which is in a couple of days. I don't see him showing up, even if it was just a one-off. I don't see it happening. I think he's full on just gonna skip the WWE train and go right to All Elite. So I don't see him making an appearance. People like Batista, I definitely feel he's gonna make some sort of appearance on the was it the SmackDown, like the 1000th episode of SmackDown or whatever it was. It was the SmackDown anniversary show. I want to say that he made like the remark to Triple H and made a shot at Triple H, and a lot of people feel like that was the feud that's going to be happen, and Batista's made it pretty well known that, you know, if he wants to come back and do another run, and he really wants to do a feud with Triple H. Unfortunately, Triple H did suffer an injury and had to have surgery, and he's recovering from that, so he won't be getting in the ring anytime soon. So we still may see Batista. Whether or not he's going to feud with Triple H, that's probably not going to happen. He may just show up for a Royal Rumble, or he may have a run that follows it. I'm not sure. But I have a feeling we'll probably see him. Other than that, who else? I'd like to think that we would see Aleister Black. We're definitely going to see somebody from NXT. With the call-ups that we've had recently, you got EC3. We had Heavy Machinery. Lars Sullivan, wherever the hell he is. Maybe we'll make some sort of appearance at the Royal Rumble. Hopefully he's got his stuff straightened out to where he can participate in that, because I think that'd be good for him. You know, as a big guy, the kind of the freak, as they've kind of titled him as, he would do really good in the Royal Rumble, but again, I'm not sure what's going on with him, as he's missed. It's rumored that he's missed 2 Raw shows that he was supposed to be on due to possible anxiety attacks. So we'll see what happens. It would be cool to see him in there. Like I said, I'd love to see Aleister Black. Last year we did see Adam Cole make an appearance from NXT. So I feel like some NXT talent might pop up. Batista, as we said. Hulk Hogan has been talked about for several months about making some kind of appearances and returns and all that. Do I think he'll pop up in the Royal Rumble? Probably not. But yeah, I think there'll be a couple of little surprises and everything here and there. So we will see what will come of that. As for the Women's Royal Rumble, don't mind me, sorry, just pulling up something here. The Women's Royal Rumble, we're probably going to see baby. Ian, welcome to the chat. How's it going, buddy? Right. Adam Cole, I was shocked I didn't see more of him over at NXT TakeOver last night, other than that weird exclusive video that if people haven't seen it yet, it's on YouTube on WWE.com. They released this exclusive video. I talked about it earlier, but we had the weird scuffle between Adam Cole, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Velveteen Dream. It was this weird scuffle, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. But, you know, staying on topic of the Royal Rumble, I still think that we'll see some NXT talent pop up. I don't know if there are going to be too many, like, surprise type of things for the Men's Rumble. But you never know. You definitely never know with the Royal Rumble. As for the Women's Royal Rumble, though, I can tell you one thing. If I see Vicky Guerrero again, I'm going to want to change the channel. But my main thing that I'm hoping, obviously last year was the first ever women's 30 women's Royal Rumble, if I'm saying that right, was last year. They obviously had to fill that out, and they pulled on a lot of Hall of Fame and talent from the heyday, and it was kind of cool because it was such a big thing and such a big milestone for the women. It was cool to see like Jacqueline and Tori Wilson and Kelly and all these people that were, you know, part of this women's revolution. So it was cool to see that. My biggest thing is okay, the first one, you did that. cool. This time around, it'd be cool to see utilizing the talent they have. For example, like, you didn't really see a whole lot of the NXT women on last year's Rumble. We saw Ember Moon and Kairi Sane, I think. I think that was it. But we didn't see, like, who didn't we see? We didn't see Shayna Baszler. We didn't see, at the time, Lacey Evans or Bianca Belair or Nikki Cross. We didn't see any of them. I want to see WWE kind of utilize the talent that they have. To be, like I said, I don't want to see fucking Vicky Guerrero. I don't want to see Kelly. Because, like, it's cool for, like, it's cool that they're back and everything. But, you know, I'd like to see people like, oh, what if they did win? It would be cool to, you know, this is just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. But, you know, whether it's the Bellas, I mean, there's still kind of like a, you know, maybe what if they did come back? What if they did have another run and win the, you know, it came down to Asuka and Brie, or I'm sorry, Asuka and Nikki last year anyways. But, I mean, like I said, you got Mia Yim, you got Bianca Belair, you got Nikki Cross, you got Lacey Evans, you got, the list goes on. I mean, you got even some of the ladies over at NXT UK. Get Toni Storm in there. That'd be fucking awesome. I 100% agree. There was in the first inaugural Mae Young Classic, and I got to work at that one and meet them personally. There were a couple of women talent. One that I remember specifically was Jazzy Gabert. It's Jazzy, last name Gabert. And she's called Alpha Female. And she's from Germany. She is a beast. And she is awesome. And she was on the first Mae Young's Classic, and she kicked ass. She got eliminated in the second round, I believe. But everybody in the crowd went nuts for her. And there were so many chants like Triple H sign her, and it was really funny. And I haven't been watching too much of the NXT UK, but I did see her in the audience. It was her and another woman that they cut to, you know, like when EC3 showed up to the NXT TakeOver event, they were chilling in the audience. Jazzy Gabert was doing that. So it'd be really cool to see her sign with NXT UK, but it'd be really even cooler to see her just make a random appearance in the Royal Rumble. That would be amazing. She's a beast. Someone like her and Nia Jax would be crazy, because she's a big girl. Not like a big girl, but like, she's just very cut, and she's intense, man. She was awesome. But, like, I can tell you one thing I did like last year in the Women's Royal Rumble was the showdown between Beth Phoenix and Nia Jax. That's a match I want to see. But you never know. Well, I think there's potential for some surprise pop-ups. One of the former Funkadactyls, Cameron, or the other one, I shouldn't say one of them because there was only two of them. Cameron is rumored to make an appearance and come back, potentially. She was on some talk show. I was watching an interview, and she mentioned there's a possibility. So maybe we'll see her in the Royal Rumble. Whether she'll do like a full run and re-sign a contract, I'm not sure. But it'd be cool to see her in the Royal Rumble. But, like, I don't really need to see Kelly or Tori Wilson or Candice Michelle. Like, none of those females have any desire to get back in the ring. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. Seeing Lita would be cool again, because Lita always kicks ass, and it'd be fun to see her do something. Trish Stratus maybe same, but we'll see. So we got 5 minutes left. So I think we've pretty much covered over everything. We got 5 minutes until the kickoff show starts. So I'm gonna go watch that. But again, Ian, Bud, you're my first one to pop into the stream, so I appreciate you popping in, Bud. again, to reiterate everything to everybody, this is going to be my first stream. It'll be left on the channel, so you can watch the, if you're watching a kickoff show and you want to watch my predictions, or if you watch it afterwards or what have you, go ahead and give the video a like. We're going to be this is going to be a growing community and a growing thing. So if you want, click that subscribe button, click the bell notification so you know when I'm going to go live and you know when I'm going to post a video. Excuse me. There will be many and many videos to come, whether it's news videos, whether it's doing these live streams and trying to bring in the community and talk to them at the same time, or funny, just whatever have yous, whatever. But it's going to be wrestling stuff all the time. Yeah. So to kind of reiterate again, we are going to do a giveaway. I'm doing the first 15 subscribers to the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you click the bell notification and go ahead and like and comment on the video. That makes you eligible for the giveaway, and the giveaway is going to be a box or gift of sorts from WrestleCrate. If you're not aware of what WrestleCrate is, it's just WrestleCrate.com, and you can see some of the cool things that they do. But once we meet the 15 subscriber count on the channel, I will be picking a winner from those people, and we'll be doing more giveaways and stuff like that in the future. Not all the time. Once in a great while, it's going to be something special, but I wanted, as a welcome to the channel and everything, I wanted to do something cool. So go ahead and spread the love. Let your friends and wrestling fan group know. Direct them over to the channel. Have them subscribe. They can be entered in. And yeah. So we're going to end it there. Again, appreciate everybody popping in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I might do a follow-up video tonight. It may not be a live stream, but we'll probably do a follow-up video after the Royal Rumble to recap everything that happened, see if my predictions are right. So stay tuned for that, and we will catch you next time.